Me, 28 male, with my wife 30 female of 3 years, got blackout drunk and cheated on me. As a little introduction, my wife and I are originally from Southern California. As a single mother, her daughter's father committed suicide. She migrated to northern Idaho in order to avoid the high cost of living in the area. We met in Southern California and started dating after she moved to Idaho. We have 2 children together. We dated for a little more than a year before being married a little more than 3 years later. We have 2 children, G, my 6-year-old daughter, whom I adopted after my wife and I got married, and LG is my daughter, whom I adopted after my wife and I got married, my biosa I had with my wife, who is almost 2. As a result, I don't much like living up here. I've lived in this city for 3 years and haven't had much luck making new acquaintances. I spend much of my time at home with my friends from Southern California, playing video games. Recently, I started a new job and have yet to make any new friends at the place of employment. Besides my children and my wife, the only people I interact with on a daily basis in real life are those with whom I live. My wife has already cheated on me twice in our relationship. The first time it happened, it was sometime between late spring and early summer. She went out with her friends, got drunk, and ended up sleeping with a random girl in the bar. This happened again a few months later while she was out with her friends, and this time she was more careful. She became inebriated and kissed a random girl at a bar while drunk. Despite the fact that I was really hurt and outraged, I forgave her both times. In other words, it's more of the same, except this time it's a bit worse since she went out with a friend and ended up blackout drunk. According to her friend, she was driving, which I find very inconvenient, her friend back to her house while encouraging her friend to have relations with her while in the car. Despite her friend's objections, she ended up with her top off and had with her friend nevertheless. This disgusts and frustrates me to a significant degree. A normal situation would be for me to walk away from the marriage and be done with it, but my children are a concern. Despite the fact that I don't want to abandon them, I also do not want to stay in Idaho. It's not pleasant at this place. To spend time with my friends and family in California, I'd want to return to the state, especially in light of what has transpired. I'm completely at a loss on what to do. Is it better for me to stay with my wife, forgive her, and raise our children? Do I divorce her and relocate to this area by myself, attempting to establish friends, which hasn't worked for me in the previous 3 years, and most likely suffering from a terrible depression as a result? Alternatively, should I leave her and return to California, where I have a support system but no children, or should I fight for complete custody, which I will not be successful in because her father has money and would almost certainly hire an excellent lawyer for her, whereas I do not have much money and would not be able to afford an adequate lawyer. Story 2. I hope people in romantic relationships go back to basics and just treat each other right in 2021. At some time in everyone's lives, men and women will cheat on one another, and I was no different at one point in my own. However, after seeing certain trends over the years and listening to the attitudes that have developed as a consequence of technological advancement and the 2000s, I have to say that I am baffled as to how anyone manages to maintain a meaningful relationship in these modern times. It is true that many people are still successful in locating their significant other or soulmates, but the difficulties of doing so today is off the charts. Why? Because of the 24-hour candy store available on the internet. I'd have to say it's because of the culture, as well as selfish, irresponsible, and just don't care attitudes among young people. Individuals who suffer from the psychiatric disorder known as with the X syndrome are also prevalent in our culture. Continue reading this if you are in a bad situation with a cheater, or if you are a cheater who does not respect the idea that other people have powers of observation, good common sense, analytical skills, and intuition, or if you are a cheater who recognizes that it is time to make a change for the better. Certainly, people have the freedom to pay visits to whoever they like. But does this need lying, deceiving, and causing damage to others in order to do so? So why do so many people like pointing the finger at other people when they themselves are the ones who are cheating? Because it seems that individuals have built a game out of accusing the next person of cheating on them, with like, you continually accuse me, so that's why I cheated. Or you're too controlling, thus I cheat, and so on. Individuals are unable to accept the truth about themselves, and the reality is that individuals cheat because they desire to cheat, due to the things they do, don't do, and unknowingly disclose via their actions. People give their boyfriends and girlfriends reasons not to trust them. When individuals are cheating on them, They tend to blame the people who caught them and confronted them, as if the person being cheated on is meant to lay down, appear ignorant, and be afraid to speak up about what has been done incorrectly. What kind of twisted and backwards is that? Cheaters depend on their physical beauty, ego, and ability to spit game. However, these factors account for just half of the factors that enable a cheater to get away with their crimes. In addition, a good heart and a weak intellect are essential, as is an emotional and desperation, as well as a poor feeling of self-confidence in order to be successful. By considering the inexperience, poor judgment, and vulnerability of the person who is being cheated on, as well as the enthusiastic involvement, promiscuity, or lack of understanding of the person with whom the cheater is cheating, it becomes evident why cheaters are able to get away with their actions. This approach of gaining an edge is one that almost every cheater is familiar with. It is certain that someone somewhere despises this post, and they hate it because they see themselves in it, I'm certain. Furthermore, they despise it because they do not want other people to begin to think and become awareness. But as you can see, I couldn't give about it. Please join me in getting the festivities underway. When people wake up and start using their better judgment instead of being weak in the face of cheats, it is only then that the cheater will be compelled to alter his or her way of life. However, he or she may only play games with those who permit him or her to do so. He or she may not alter their point of view, but she may only play games with those who permit him or her to do so. Because no one should let anybody to use them for security or social prestige, and no one should allow anyone, not even a cheat, to take up residence in their wallet or bag merely to keep them. I feel this is a reasonable argument to make. Possibly one of the worst things a person can do is to promote further dishonesty, lying, and abuse on the part of others. When one tolerates a cheater, one is inadvertently supporting and aiding the cheating culture in general. So why would anybody want to participate in an infection that is spreading across society? Here's something to think about. However, rather than behaving like a man or a woman and telling your significant other how things are where you stand and where they stand, you should behave like a man or a woman and tell them how things are and be done with it. But no, don't have to participate in these kind of activities as a matter of course. Our preferred method of dealing with the person who thinks they are number one is to treat them like the side piece, and the person who believes they are number one as if they are the side piece. What is it that motivates us to act in this manner? I believe that individuals do this because they like the personality, money, and security that one person offers them with. Yet they still want to engage in intercourse with the other person, according to my observations. In other words, what precisely is the problem? So, let me explain what's wrong with it to you in more detail. In the world of dating, it's referred to as putting someone else through your self-centeredness, immaturity, unwillingness to commit from the heart, and wandering set of eyes, and on purpose. And, however, I believe that many of us can do better by one another and ourselves in terms of personal integrity, character, honesty, and devotion. So why not give it a go in 2021? Reduce your reliance on selecting mates only on the basis of their attraction and passion. It's fascinating to observe what occurs when you mix personality, thought, and a certain bit of substance. Please accept my best wishes for a wonderful year in 2021, as well as a long and happy life for everyone.